Happy Sunday, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. Okay. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all day yesterday. It rained most of the day here in the Chesapeake, Virginia. What is wrong with this? All right, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to minimize my screen here. Y'all watched the fight last night with Javante Davis and Barrios. What's wrong with my screen? I can't minimize my screen. Okay. That's weird. Minimize my screen. Okay. Oh, what in the world? What is this? Oh my God. See if I can do this. No. What? That's crazy. Maybe if I can do this. What is up? Hold on, y'all. My screen. I can move my whole page over, but for some reason I cannot minimize it. Let's see if I can do this. Hold on, no. Don't leave the site. Just need to minimize something. What are you doing? Hold on, y'all. This is weird. I can't even bring my tabs up. I'm not hit key anything. No. No, let's see if we can do this. What's this? What is a shortcut keys to minimum? Oh, let's see. Oh, that works. Shortcut keys. Okay, this is weird. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, let's do this. All right, y'all. I got it. It's acting weird. I couldn't minimize my page so I could get to the website. Bring this up. All right, y'all. But anyway, we got it going. All right. Well, happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday. Well, I guess that's not going to work. I must have did something. I can't minimize this. I guess it's just going to be one screen or the other today, huh? Let's see. I'll figure it out. We're still recording over here, so we good. Mom, shalom, shalom. Okay. All right, yeah, I guess periodically I'm going to just kind of have to go back. I got to try to figure out what Josh can pushed up here. Okay. All right, we just got to do it this way. All right, y'all. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday, June the 27th, 2021, day 191 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, another 3-year consecutive day count, day 860, 860. Y'all, today we're reading Isaiah 19, 20, and 21. Then we're going to pick up where we left off at yesterday in Fossilized Customs on page 181. Let's go ahead and do the Shema, which is found in Deuteronomy chapter 6, starting at verse 3. Hear, therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahuwah, the Elohim of our fathers, has promised us, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah, our mighty one, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do these commandments before Yahuwah, our mighty one, as he has commanded us. Okay, y'all. This up and go back to this screen here. All right, y'all. Isaiah chapter 19. So check this. Okay, y'all. Shalom, Demi. Shalom, Auntie. Linda Brown, Grand Rising. Okay, this is weird. I guess I'm gonna just have to keep pressing this button. All right, y'all. Isaiah chapter 19. This message came to me concerning Egypt. Look, Yahuwah is advancing against Egypt, riding on a swift cloud. The idols of Egypt tremble. The hearts of the Egyptians melt with fear. I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, province against province. The Egyptians will lose heart, and I will confuse their plans. They will plead with their idols for wisdom and call on spirits, mediums, and those who consult the spirits of the dead. I will hand Egypt over to a hard, cruel master. A fierce king will rule them, says Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. The waters of the Nile will fail to rise and flood the fields. The riverbed will be parched and dry. The canals of the Nile will dry up. The streams of Egypt will stink with rotting reeds and rushes. All the greenery along the riverbank and all the crops along the river will dry up and blow away. The fishermen will lament for lack of work. Those who cast hooks into the Nile will groan, and those who use nets will lose heart. There will be no flax for the harvesters, no thread for the weavers. They will be in despair, and all the workers will be sick at heart. What fools are the officials of Zon? Their best counsel to the king of Egypt is stupid and wrong. Will they boast to Pharaoh of their wisdom? Will they dare to brag about all their wise ancestors? Where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh? Let them tell you what Yahuwah plans and what the God of heaven's armies is going to do to Egypt. The officials of Zon are fools, and the officials of Memphis are deluded. The leaders of the people have led Egypt astray. Yahuwah has sent a spirit of foolishness on them, so all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit. There is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless, the head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lowly reed. In that day, the Egyptians will be as weak as women. They will cower in fear beneath the upraised fist of Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. Just to speak the name of Israel will terrorize them, for Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, has laid out his plans against them. In that day, five of Egypt's cities will follow Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies. They will even begin to speak Hebrew, the language of Canaan. One of these cities will be Heliopolis, the city of the sun. In that day, there will be an altar to Yahuwah in the heart of Egypt, and there will be a monument to Yahuwah at its border. It will be a sign and a witness that Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, is worshipped in the land of Egypt. When the people cry to Yahuwah for help against those who oppress them, he will send a savior who will rescue them. Yahuwah will make himself known to the Egyptians. Yes, they will know Yahuwah and give their sacrifices and offerings to him. They will make a vow to Yahuwah and will keep it. Yahuwah will strike Egypt and he will bring healing. The Egyptians will turn to Yahuwah and he will listen to their pleas and heal them. In that day, Egypt and Assyria will be connected by a highway. The Egyptians and Assyrians will move freely between their lands, and they will both worship Yahuwah. In that day, Israel will be the third, along with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing in the midst of the earth. For Yahuwah, the Lord of heaven's armies, will say, Blessed be Egypt, my people. Blessed be Assyria, the land I have made. Blessed be Israel, my special possession. That's why Trina, hey girl, hey. All right, y'all. Isaiah chapter 20. Kenneth, peace and blessings. All right, y'all. In the year when King Sargon of Assyria sent his commander-in-chief to capture the Philistine city of Ashdod, Yahuwah told Isaiah, son of Amos, take off the burlap you have been wearing and remove your sandals. Isaiah did as he was told and walked around naked and barefoot. Then Yahuwah said, My servant Isaiah has been walking around naked and barefoot for the last 3 years. This is a sign, a symbol of the terrible troubles I will bring upon Egypt and Ethiopia. For the king of Assyria will take away the Egyptians and Ethiopians as prisoners. He will make them walk naked and barefoot, both young and old, their buttocks bare to the shame of Egypt. Then the Philistines will be thrown into panic, for they counted on the power of Ethiopia and boasted of their allies in Egypt. They will say, if this can happen to Egypt, what chance do we have? We were counting on Egypt to protect us from the king of Assyria. Last chapter for the day, y'all, Isaiah chapter 21. This message came to me concerning Babylon, the desert by the sea. Disaster is roaring down on you from the desert, like a whirlwind sweeping in from the Negev. I see a terrifying vision. I see the betrayer betraying, the destroyer destroying. Go ahead, you Elamites and Medes, attack and lay siege. I will make an end to all the groaning Babylon calls. My stomach aches and burns with pain. Sharp pangs of anguish are upon me, like those of a woman in labor. I grow faint when I hear what Yahuwah is planning. I am too afraid to look. My mind reels and my heart races. I long for evening to come, but now I am terrified of the dark. Look, they are preparing a great feast. They are spreading rugs for people to sit on. Everyone is eating and drinking. But quick, grab your shields and prepare for battle. You are being attacked. Meanwhile, Yahuwah said to me, Put a watchman on the city wall. Let him shout out what he sees. He should look for chariots drawn by pairs of horses and for riders on donkeys and camels. Let the watchman be fully alert. Then the watchman called out, Day after day I have stood on the watchtower, my Lord. Night after night I have remained at my post. Now at last, look, here comes a man in a chariot with a pair of horses. Then the watchman said, Babylon is falling, falling. All the idols of Babylon lie broken on the ground. O my people, threshed and winnowed, I have told you everything Yahuwah, the God of heaven's armies, has said, everything that Yahuwah, the God of Israel, has told me. This message came to me concerning Edom. Someone from Edom keeps calling me, Watchman, how much longer until morning? When will the night be over? The watchman replies, Morning is coming, but night will soon return. If you wish to ask again, then come back and ask. A message about Arabia. This is a message to me concerning Arabia. Arabia. O caravans from Dedan, hide in the deserts of Arabia. O people of Tema, bring water to these thirsty people, food to these weary refugees. They have fled from the sword, from the drawn sword, from the bent bow and the terrors of battle. Then Yahuwah said to me, within a year, counting each day, all the glory of Kedar will come to an end. Only a few of its courageous archers will survive. I, Yahuwah, the God of Israel, have spoken. That, my beautiful people, is the reading for today. That was Isaiah 19, 20, and 21. All right. Shayla, that's Bible. Okay, y'all. So let's go ahead and hop on over here to Fossilized Customs. All right. Okay. The readings are short. We only at 14 minutes, y'all. All right. So now we are reading about the great mother, the queen of heaven, right? We're going to get a lot read today. All right, y'all. All right. The great mother, queen of heaven. In ancient Babylon, the pagans began to worship a trinity of Father, Son, Mother, Earth, and the reborn Son, who was interpreted also to be the Father. Hold on. Wait a minute. Did I read this? I think we stopped at the death of Nimrod. We did. I'm sorry. We stopped. I read it already. As soon as yep. Because all these was based upon sex. I'm sorry. Let's skip down to the bottom paragraph. The death of Nimrod. Okay. According to traditional accounts, Noah's son Shem had settled with his clan apart from his two brothers' clans in Babylon. Nimrod was a descendant of Ham, and the Hey! Well, he just keeps getting loud and loud. Okay. Nimrod was a descendant of Ham, and the abominations that he committed caused Shem to destroy him. To shock the Babylons even further, Shem delivered Nimrod's body parts to the far reaches of his pagan kingdom. This sent the Babylonians into shock, causing their activities to be occult, or meaning hidden. Right? Okay. Nimrod's mother began to comfort the people by telling them that she was pregnant with Tammuz, who was also Nimrod, because he was the father of her child. And she explained Nimrod had gone into the heavens and was now the sun itself. Like, if you had common sense, like, wait a minute, the sun was already there, so how can he be the sun? Like, he's not. Okay, let me read. People were led to believe that after death, they too would go into the heaven. I read this, y'all. I did. What did I stop? Hold on. You know what? I'm sorry. I put the wrong. I wrote my page number down wrong. Look. It was page 181. Did I say 181? I still started on the wrong page. But anyway, let me just finish reading this. We read this yesterday. Definitely read this. I didn't. What happened was I marked it here, but I didn't mark it here, which made me, I don't know. I just went back. Sorry, but I'm going to finish reading it anyway. Okay. Hold on. People were led to believe that after death, they too would go into the heavens. This is still the belief of many Christians, even though there is not a scrap of evidence contained in scripture to support this belief. It's Babylonian. Actually, the saints means Kodeshim in Hebrew. Actually, the saints will inherit the earth, not heaven. See Ezekiel 37:12, Isaiah 65:17, Matthew 5:5. The universe will be ruled from this earth, restored to its Edenic state. The weeping for Tammuz became the Catholic Lent. Weeping for Tammuz, Ezekiel 8:14. Lent is Babel's confusion with the 40-day fast of Yahushua prior to the beginning of his ministry. There is no connection of his fast. There is no connection of his fast with his resurrection. Lent is the springtime lengthening of days, representing the mourning for Tammuz. It's associated with the fertility festival called Easter, the great mother Gaia, or Ishtar, who was impregnated in the spring, giving birth to the sun deity 9 months later on December 25th. The fourth avatar of the beast, in parentheses it has reign of Babel after avatar of the beast. The fourth avatar of the beast altered these pagan events to deceive the nations. All right. Magna Mater, which is where we should have started, right? To the people of Ephesus, she was Diana, aka Artemis, which y'all read about in the New Testament, right? And so here's a picture of the sculpture of her, if you don't have the book. Right. Okay. The Great Mother was translated as Magna Mater in Latin, and this is the very same sun goddess or witch, Semiramis. To the Greeks, Zeus was the sun. The Egyptians depict Isis holding Horus, who is somehow also Osiris, shown to be exactly like the Madonna and Child seen in Christendom's art. Mother Nature is a common personification of the environment extended to the Mother Earth. Extended to the worship of Mother Earth, the anthropomorphic deity called Gaia. The Sumerians called Semiramis Ishtar. Yahuwah's prophets recorded her name as Asherah and Asherah. She has been known throughout the world by many other names. I'm about to list all these names. Oyster, Easter, hold on. Eoster, Ostron, Eostra, Asherah, Ostara, Asarte, Artemis, Aphrodite, Tanit, Diana, Nana, Mia, Gaia, Devaki, Ceres, Sybil, Circe, Idrani, Venus, Isis, Frigga, Frey, Biblia, Usha, Os, Ora, Asra, Ushatara, Stella, Aster, Nut, which means the sky, and others. Astarte or Venus was said to have fallen to earth in a huge egg from the word aster, in Latin, stella for star. By diverting people from worshiping the true creator, Satan has designed traps to lure people to worship him through stealth. Most don't do it consciously. He removed the name from our worship so we won't know specifically who it is we honor. They think the dreams they tell one another will make my people forget my name, just as their fathers forgot my name through Baal worship. This text from Jeremiah 23:27 is from a time that lying prophets were misleading the people by avoiding Yahuwah's great name. They had begun to just call him Lord or Baal. Read Jeremiah chapter 11. The Magna Mater, or mother and child worship, doesn't mean Satan is a he or she because he wasn't created as male or female. Satan will accept any worship we can spare as long as we don't do what Yahuwah asks of us. As the Queen of Heaven, in Jeremiah 44:17, the Magna Mater is represented in Scripture with radiant sun rays around her head. Egyptians had Nut as Queen of Heaven. And so we will see more pictures of her and what she looks like in the current day. Can you see that? I think the sun's. Yep, you got it right. Lady Liberty. Okay. Carved images of her associated with sacred pillars rallied multitudes of pagans to the seasonal observances because these were the times of their pagan religion. These were the times their pagan religion ordered grand sexual services to be conducted. Many of these people were shrine prostitutes, both male and female, as can be determined from Genesis 38:21, where Yehuda thought Tamar was a shrine prostitute. The sacred pillars were obelisks, like seen in Babylon, Egypt, Rome, London, and the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., which happens to be the biggest one in history. They are also the very same pagan pillars seen on most Christian meeting places today. Now they're called steeples. Yahuwah told us not to erect a pillar in our land, so that's become the main thing to do. The ancient mind interpreted these religious pillars as a male reproductive organ. The female symbol is the wreath, crescent moon, fish, lilies, rabbits, and others. There's another picture. You can see it clearly. Okay. Mystery Babylon, the Queen of Heaven. Above right is an Egyptian burial lid showing the zodiac and their sky deity, Nut. Okay, so that was this picture right here that we saw, right? That was that picture. Okay, the great Earth Mother and the religious customs inherited from Babylon are richly entangled within our worldwide observances, though veiled to the average person on the street. Revelation 17 explains how this great prostitute will be brought down and how she has deceived the nations or caused them to be intoxicated. Her title remains the same, the great mother of harlots and of abominations of the earth. This religious system sits on 7 hills called the Great City. Almost all scholars understand this is Rome, which is in fact built on 7 hills from the early Etruscan period. The scholars confuse the issue by claiming this is only ancient pagan Rome and draw a distinction there. This is done so as not to offend, of course, and keep blinders on everyone. Let's consider if there is anything pagan still there, shall we? Let me think. The Great Mother is what she was called. Well, the Church of Rome calls itself Mother Church, which is literally Mother Circe. Do they perform anything remotely pagan? Yes. The name Ishtar became Asherah, then Easter, Oyster, Astarte, and Easter. Easter was a pagan spring observance brought into Christianity by Constantine I at Nicaea in 325 CE. A Webster's dictionary will tell you quite a lot about the word itself. This is in fact the personal name of Mystery Babylon, the Great Mother. Why is the most celebrated observance of Christianity? The answer, of course, is Constantine reinvented the meaning behind Easter in order to desolate Passover. He also established the practice of Sunday superseding the scriptural day of rest, Sabbath, which is the sign that we worship the true Creator as Creator. He claimed the resurrection as a reason for both Easter and Sunday, and he got away with it. Next section, Earth Mother. Okay, the statue of the Great Mother is in the Vatican Museum and was called Durga, above to the Hindus, Artemis to the Greeks, Hathor to the Egyptians, and Diana to the Romans. I'm going to show you this picture. You can see it clearly. That might be a little dark. Hold on. See, she has multiple arms. I know it looks kind of dark from where I'm seeing. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. Maybe put some light on it. Maybe hold it like that a little bit. Okay. If you got the book, you might be able to see it clear. Okay. The statue of the Great Mother is in the Vatican Museum and was called Durga to the Hindus, Artemis to the Greeks, Hathor to the Egyptians, and Diana to the Romans. Di means to shine. Diana means bright one. That's why she faces the rising sun. She's the dawn deity. The Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor even has 7 sun rays or horns extending from her tower headpiece. Many statues of the Earth Mother throughout history have this tower emblem on her head, thus hearkening back to Babylon. The torch is an old emblem of fire worship, and even the Greeks lighting the altar of Zeus at Olympic Games owe this pagan eccentricity to the ancient Babylonians. Child sacrifice was their real purpose for the torch and altar, and the sun started the sacred flame for the offering. Circe, or church, come out of her. Here's another picture of a woman with a bowl. It says Circe at the top and church at the bottom. Okay. Come out of her. Who is she? Asherah, Ishtar, etc. What is the golden cup filled with abominations? The Babylonian calendar, the zodiac, and in parentheses it has zoo, animals, and triads of deities is employed to lead everyone astray and look for love in all the wrong ways. The whole pagan system is based on sex. She is fertilized in the spring and gives birth at the winter solstice, and the years are based on when the sun is reborn. Take the calendar away, and the whole system falls apart. The Roman calendar is based on the same processes established in Babylon. If people live their lives by it, they will not recognize the seasons or appointed times that the lights in the sky were put there for us to know them. Genesis 1 and 14. The calendar of Babylon. The calendar of Babylon holds all the abominations together. This dragnet or gold cup intoxicates the people of the earth, and they can't see clearly. Ain't that the truth? Boy, that's the truth. The pagan observances are abominations, and they desolate the scriptural observances as Constantine intended. Abomination of desolation has been set up. The Roman calendar is like a huge dragnet guiding everyone unknowingly into worshiping the sun, ordering their lives according to the old Babylonian mysteries. It fits when you consider the title Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth. Since the calendar regulates when everyone does what, it has to be the dragnet that intoxicates us with the filth of the harlotries in the golden cup in the woman's hands. The woman is riding the beast. Coming out of her will keep us from participating in her sins, as Revelation 18 describes. This queen of heaven and her daughters deceive the nations even today. Babylon masquerades today, even as recorded at Jeremiah 44:17. Christianity assimilated her ways very early and abandoned the true straight path of obedience to the Creator, whose name is YAHUAH. As Peter put it, a dog returns to its vomit. 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 22. Being called away from paganism and idolatry, early Gentiles fell back into their old ways by mixing them together with the Mashiach message. Yahuwah commands us, saying, "Come out of her, my people," at Revelation chapter 18 and 4. Formerly, when you did not know Yahuwah, you were slaves to those who were by nature are not Elohim. But now that you know Yahuwah, or rather are known by Yahuwah, how is it that you are turning back to those weak and miserable principles? Do you wish to be enslaved by them all over again? You are observing special days and months and seasons and years. I fear for you that somehow I have wasted my efforts on you. Galatians 4, verses 8 through 11. Being that the name of the great mother is in fact Easter, you need to come out of the mother and her daughters, since they practice Easter, Sunday, Christmas, and many other intoxicating filth from the golden cup in the harlot's hand. Alexander Hislop, in his work, The Two Babylons, has written about this same topic for over 100 years ago, explaining how this fusion occurred with Christianity long ago. To conciliate the pagans to nominal Christianity, Rome, pursuing its usual policy, took measures to get Christian and pagan festivals amalgamated, and by a complicated but skillful adjustment of the calendar, it was found no difficult matter, in general, to get paganism and Christianity, now far sunk into idolatry, in this as in so many other things, to shake hands. Ezekiel chapter 8, verses 12 through 17 discusses how 25 men, the 24 courses of priests plus one high priest, bowed down to the rising sun and put a branch to their nose. The pagans used branches, wreaths, trees, and became really excited when a sprig of new growth sprang up from a tree stump. To them, this symbolized their slain Nimrod, and the new life of a branch growing from this stump symbolized Tammuz. This is how we came to bring trees into our homes at Christmas, carried over to the U.S. by the Irish during the potato famine in the 1840s. All right, y'all, the next section is called The Bride of Satan, or Consort of Baal. The Great Mother, Easter, has been the main deception for mankind as recorded throughout Scripture. She was called Asherah, the Queen of Heaven. Even the words East and estrogen refer to this abomination. Astrology and astronomy, and it actually has an E. in front of astrology and astronomy. Okay. Astrology and astronomy contain her name as well. At Sinai, what happened was a wedding betrothal, and Israel became Yahuwah's wife, as he claims repeatedly. The covenant was in 2 stone copies, one for each partner. The wife agreed to obey, and Yahuwah promised to provide. Israel was to show her love for Yahuwah by her obedience. Gentiles who convert and begin with the decision reached at Acts 15 and graft into Israel. Through belief and obedience to Yahuwah, they become a part of the natural olive tree, Israel. Satan's bride is deceived. They have not taken the name of the husband, but adhere to several pagan titles such as God, Lord, and yes, even Christ. In parentheses, it has Christos, Krishna, or only a few deities. They flounder aimlessly, paying, observing Sunday, Easter, and Christmas, and have no clue of their true origins. They call our rabbi Jesus, but he knows who. Hold on. They call our rabbi Jesus, but he knows who they mean, right? He has that in parentheses. They blindly follow the traditions, forsaking the Torah given for Israel as her marriage covenant. You are servants to the one whom you obey, whether you are slaves to sin, which leads to death, or to obedience, which leads to righteousness. Romans 6:16. If you are obeying Satan by keeping the traditions he's using to deceive the whole world, then you are embedded in mystery Babylon and are his brides and not Yahuwah's. The abominations set up look and feel good, but they are the way of death because they were not commanded by Yahuwah. Their origins in paganism should expose their satanic design. These counterfeit works and wonders were discussed by Paul. And then the lawless one would be revealed. The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with the work of Satan, displayed in all kinds of counterfeit miracles, great works, signs, and wonders, and in every sort of evil that deceives those who are perishing. They perish because they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, Yahuwah sends them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie, and so that all will be condemned who have not believed the truth, but have delighted in lawlessness. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 5 through 12. Is Sunday a delusion? Paul means these people will not obey the commandments and condemn legalism, which the true bride obeys gladly. Those perishing delight not in obeying the law or Torah. Come out of her, my people. Do just a little research on the Inquisition and find out what an iron maiden is. You will be very enlightened to see these things go completely against the love. Hold on. Okay. You will be very enlightened to see that these things go completely against the love your enemies philosophy we are commanded to live by. You will recognize a tree by its fruit. In everyday life, you will find that if you pray for someone who is giving you a difficult time, there will be a change in their treatment of you. It actually works. And we've actually seen that happen. Uncle Nathaniel, greetings. When we are not humble, we can walk around with a chip on our shoulder and not even be aware of it. When we gossip or ridicule others who are poor, physically impaired, different from us because they're white, black, yellow, red, or some ethnicity, ethnos means foreign, we insult their maker. I've always tried to make it clear that when I teach or write about pagan customs, I am not judging people at all, but rather the philosophies themselves. Invariably, some receive the information as an unloving criticism of people. In a popular magazine called BAR, which stands for Biblical Archaeological Review, a reader responded saying, I understand your position on reporting the facts, but I do not have to read such drivel. The reader may as well have said, my mind's made up, don't confuse me with the facts. It's easy to steer children down the path of error with pagan programming. Growing older, many lose their belief because they see through a few things and realize the shallowness of what they were taught. Others never have the opportunity to comprehend the basis of why the world does the things it does. They're set in their ways. A French philosopher, Jean-Paul Sartre, said, "The more sand has escaped from the hourglass of our life, the clearer we should see through it." The scriptures we place our trust in are translations, interpreting words done by fallible men. In many places, they inserted words into the text that reflected their doctrinal understanding and mocked with it, or they messed with it. This is why there are so many different versions. Even the Greek underlying the English has many versions, and no two sentences in thousands of copies agree perfectly. This is evidence that the New Testament or Nazarene writings in Greek is only a translation. Christianity is so fully packed with paganism that if you tried, you couldn't get any more in. When we confront Christian ministers, evangelists, apologists, and so-called men of God with just a few of the issues brought up in this book, they become cold and even hateful toward us for us being critical in our thinking. We know that to be the truth, don't we? Some people not ready for the common sense questions people have about this thing called Christianity that a lot of us have been brought up in, right? It's time for some answers, right? The reason for this is their livelihoods are now being threatened because they are profiting from the ignorance of those who remain unaware of the truth. Ignorance holds them captive, right? That might be our title for the day. Ignorance holds them captive. Boom. Okay. Is not my word like fire, declares Yahuwah, and like a hammer that breaks a rock in pieces? Jeremiah 23, verses 29. Okay, we're going to the next section. We have 42 minutes. The Latin word doctrine means teaching, and the teachings are seeds. They are either sown by the Father, Yahuwah, or an enemy. The evidence of what was sown is revealed by what grows. Let me read that again. The evidence of what was sown is revealed by what grows. The true seed sown by the Father is his commandments. This is illustrated by the parable of the sower in Matthew 13. Veiled hearts cannot understand the parables, as you will notice the footnotes in your scriptures struggle to deal with the true meanings of the text that requires spiritual discernment, and most of them do. The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven have been given to you, but not to them. Matthew chapter 13:11. Yahusha explained the meaning of the sower, but even so, his explanation is not understandable to those whose hearts are veiled. Listen then to what the parable of the sower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. The birds came and ate it up. This is Satan saying, "This commandment was done away with," or "that commandment is only for Jews to obey." Thus, by trickery, the evil one explains we don't need a particular seed. The one who received the seed that fell on rocky places is the man who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since he has no root, he lasts only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, he quickly falls away. That's like a lot of us, right? A lot of us who begin understanding the truth, like, oh snap, what have we been doing? Like, what place is this we're really living in? All this we have been taught all of our lives. You mean to tell me most of this has been a lie, right? You receive it, you start walking in it, then you get excited about it, and you start telling the people about it. But when the flack comes or the feedback comes from the people you are trying to enlighten with the truth, they start asking you questions and coming against you like, nope, you didn't get off into a cult somewhere, sis. I would think about that, and it's like, then get you thinking and second guessing yourself, and then what they begin to say to you becomes stronger than what you believe, right? The one who received the seed that fell on rocky places is the man who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But because he has no root, he lasts only a short time, meaning he just listening to everybody else. Now, what they tell him might be true, but he hasn't gone to do the research for himself and thereby begin owning the information for himself, right? That's why I say, y'all go check behind me. Don't just sit here and listen to me or listen to anybody else who maybe teach you the truth. If you don't go in and begin researching some of these things, you ain't got to do a bunch of deep research, but at least check into some of the things that make sure that you are being told the truth. Go back to some historical documents if you can find them. You can find a lot of stuff on the internet. Not everything on the internet is true. There's ways to vet information and make sure it's true and make sure you have authentic, credible information. Do that, right? And don't just use the internet either. You can go to libraries, other places, right? Even some medical documents that are made available. You can kind of check into some of this stuff. So when you don't go in and verify the things that you have been told, when somebody come up to you, well, how you know that? Because such and such said, that's what get everybody in trouble, right? You start fumbling around because such and such said. You can be like, well, first of all, I want to check into this myself. I heard what such and such said, but I needed to go verify. And here's what I found. This. And when you do that, let me tell you, there can be no shaking of your foundation, right? Because you literally set stakes in the ground that locks you in because you have done it and you have verified it and you know these things to be true, right? And that's how you grow deep into the ground. Your seed stays in the ground and it begins to grow roots and you begin to see fruit from the seed that was planted. What it say back here? Look. The evidence of what is sown is revealed by what grows, right? We can see what's growing in your life and we can tell that seeds of truth have been sown into your life, right? And you've been checking into this. You've been watering this. It's been getting some sun. It's been getting some real sun. It's been fertilized. Wait, what? We know what has been sown inside of you, right? Look, the one who received the seed that fell on rocky places is the man who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since he has no root, he lasts only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, he quickly falls away. This is like one of us who understands, but then his family, peers, or preacher criticize him, saying things that you come in contact with some kind of cult, or how can the whole world be wrong? And then they turn away from the truth. And it's hard, especially when family get in your face and do that crap to you. And people whom you love, it's crazy. Church family, it's the worst. It's the worst. Like, because now you feel isolated and it's like, man, am I really doing something wrong? But it's them who are wrong, right? It's those who are wrong that don't understand. The one who received the seed that fell among the thorns is the man who hears the word, but the worries of this life and the deceitfulness of wealth choke it, making it unfruitful. This is like the one who works on the seventh day and is intimidated by bosses or co-workers when he says he wishes to rest. They all say all it means is that we should take off one day in every 7, or I can't afford to eat kosher. The meat is too expensive. But you will find that taking it day by day, week by week, it's easy to obey. The Decalogue, Deca meaning 10, log meaning words, the 10 words, the Decalogue, the 10 words will be around forever.
Cookie.
Yes, baby.
Where's the ice cream?
Where's the ice cream? It is all gone. As soon as it came out of the freezer, it was a goner from the very beginning. There is no more. The Decalogue will be around forever. They will cry legalism, and that's the persecution. We must listen to the guiding principles for Gentile beginners from the letter of the Jerusalem Council at Acts chapter 15, Leviticus 11, Leviticus 19, and Leviticus 23 are still binding upon all believers and easy to obey, but the enemy has stolen the true seed from most and replaced it with the tares or teachings of error. The teachings we live in are either our Father's words or they the teachings we live in are either our Father's words or they are the tares sown by the enemy, the one who changes the laws by deceiving people. I just had to pause just to make sure there wasn't a body falling down the stairs. The wife of Adam was deceived in the same way. When you sincerely pray for truth, you will receive it. When you cry for help, Yahuwah, who seeks for any who will understand, will immediately send you truth and the ability to receive it. How gracious he will be when you cry for help. As soon as he hears, he will answer you. Your teachers will be hidden no more. And with your own eyes, you will see them. So look, let me just say this real quick. We're going to end after this little short paragraph. Right here where it says, your teachers will be hidden no more. And I think the first time I heard this saying was from my Uncle Nathaniel years ago. He said, when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. And what that says is when you're ready for something, you will begin to see it, or it will come within your view, right? You will begin to see those things that you need, right? When you're ready for something, it'll be there for you, waiting on you, ready to teach you. This is the way, walk ye in it, right? And that could be situations. It could literally be people, actual teachers, male, female. Your teachers could a lot of times be children, right? My children teach me a lot of things from the situations that happen in our house and how they respond to certain things, or how some things they just let roll off their back, don't even care about, like everything. Literally, if you allow it, will become a teacher to you, whether it's teaching you good principles or it can also teach you bad principles. I choose to learn from both, right? I choose to pull the wisdom from both and stay away from the teachers who give me bad advice, or I can see that the outcome from doing such a thing is bad. I tend to learn from that. I'm like, that's something I need to stay away from, right? Allow your teachers to teach you, right? All right. How gracious he will be when you cry for help. As soon as he hears, he will answer you. Your teachers will be hidden no more. With your own eyes, you will see them. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Then you will defile your idols overlaid with silver and your images covered with gold. You will throw them away like a menstrual cloth and say to them, away with you. Yo, I'm telling you, this is exciting. Isaiah chapter 30, verses 19 through 22. No matter how precious the pagan observances were to you, you will become sickened by the whole calendar that spews out their Babylonian vomit. That's like learning about some of these like holidays, like Christmas and even like Thanksgiving. It should be called the Great Slaughtering, right? All of these things, like it makes you sick. Like, how could you? That's like you were joining forces with mass murderers and sociopaths. It literally shakes you like that when you realize what you have been doing blindly, ignorantly, with joy, mind you, right? No matter how precious the pagan observances were to you, you will become sickened by the whole calendar that spews out their Babylonian vomit. The cakes baked for the Queen of Heaven, birthday cakes, Christmas trees, Easter baskets, jack-o'-lanterns, and the broad road of Sunday will be like a menstrual cloth to you. People will ask you, are you a Jew? Jew means Yehudi, a worshiper of Yah. You are engrafted into Israel, having been begotten by Yahuwah. You are an Israelite. We are the priests. Hold on. Yep. See, this is not. He got this order of Melchizedek in here. We talked about this. We got a whole video. Somebody asked about this. We're not gonna say this, right? Because you can't. Yeah, we're not gonna do that. You have to go back. Let me just make a note because it's gonna take me off a little while. This is about to end this. I'll put the link in here for Melchizedek when I answer this. Right, Melchizedek. Okay. We don't require earthly man's approval or acceptance. Rather, seek the approval of Yahuwah. And it's directed to Yahuwah right here. He got added through his son, Yahusha. We don't do that. Yahuwah say we come directly to him, right? Okay. Do not learn the ways of the nations, and do not be alarmed by the signs or zodiac, these constellations of the heavens, although the nations are alarmed by them. For the customs of these peoples are worthless. For one cuts a tree from a forest, they adorn it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers so that it does not topple. They're talking about the Christmas tree or the Asher pole, people that bring into their living quarters, right? That is the Christmas tree. You can find that in Jeremiah 10, verses 2 through 4. I read it again. Do not learn the ways of the nations. Do not be alarmed by the signs of the heavens, although the nations are alarmed by them. For the custom, so when you hear them talking about all these different things they seeing in the skies and stuff, and people freaking out, Nubaru and all this other kind of crazy stuff. And I go out there, I'm like, okay, I'm not saying that you can't see stuff, but I ain't never seen stuff in the sky over here. Not saying that they're not, because they really could be. And it could also be the government behind a lot of this stuff. It could be the Blue Beam Project or some other unmentioned project in the sky, right? But it always seems to be happening in certain places. And it's been happening for decades, y'all. As long as they've been having access and can record stuff in the sky, they've been recording it. And I ain't gonna say nothing has come of it or nothing is gonna happen, but sometimes it's, and I'm not trying to like, what you want to call it? I'm not trying to play it down like it's nothing, because it really could be. But the whole point in saying all this is some people literally make their living off of these type of videos and stuff, just scaring the living daylights out of people all day long, literally on YouTube, Facebook pages, websites, everything. We got people back. Look, I've been taken by it a few times, so I can tell you. So when I read this was such a comfort to me. Like, don't be afraid of all this stuff like all the other nations are. Like, just stop it, people. And it was when I came across this, it literally sunk down and just sat down deep in my shanana, and I became at peace, right? So, like I said, I could walk down the street drinking some juice or water, just but you get what I'm saying. I ain't gonna be freaking out though. Granted, we're gonna take proper precautions like hurricanes and stuff like that is coming. But some of these other things that they've been, yeah, I ain't gonna say it's ridiculous, but some it's crazy. I'm not gonna say it's nothing to it, but like I said, the whole point of saying all that is don't be alarmed, right? Because the other nations are afraid of things like this. But Yahuwah says, just chill out. Don't worry about all that. I'm gonna read it again. Do not learn the ways of the nations, and don't be alarmed by the signs, and in parentheses, zodiac, these constellations of the heavens, although the nations are alarmed by them. For the customs of these peoples are worthless. For one cuts a tree from the forest, they adorn it with silver, and they fasten it with nails and hammers, so that it does not topple. And that is the Christmas tree or the Asher pole. So it tells you not to be alarmed by some of these things. And some people do these things, they put in their house because, we need to do it. This is why, so we stay blessed and all this stuff, and or whatever. He said, don't do this and don't do that, right? Just don't do it. Don't be alarmed by it. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you if you don't do it, right? So just be at peace, people. Again, remember, there is no covenant with Christians, but only with Israel, right? And we know that to be the truth, right? But also people who are of other nations, they can be grafted into the family. They can become Israel. Okay. So So that's not discounting anybody, but it is. You ain't bringing no crap into our house. So it discounts the riffraff. But if the riffraff want to straighten up and fly right, you can be a part of the family, right? But the first time, I ain't say the first time, but you keep messing up, you gonna be kicking. You gonna be kicked out. Again, remember there is no covenant with Christians, but only with Israel. Psalm 147 verses 19 and 20 says, He has revealed his word to Jacob, his laws and decrees to Israel. He has done this for no other nation. They do not know his laws. And when I read this, when this sunk down deep in my shanana, I was like, I ain't listening to nobody else, right? I ain't listening to nobody else. Because first of all, his word wasn't even revealed. Nobody should be teaching Yahuwah's law, statutes, and commandments except for Israel. And if you got some of those who have call themselves converts, but they're still teaching outside of what Yahuwah said and stuff, and we striking you off the list too. You should not be teaching. And there's a whole bunch of people that I used to listen to, great, what they call great and televangelists, all this stuff. They're completely local, abroad, near, far. I don't care where you are. You are freaking off the list. Like, cause y'all like it's crazy. Okay. The Torah is for all men to submit to. Wisdom cries out from the scriptures. Our duty is to obey Yahuwah. Love me and guard my commandments. From his point of view, obedience is love. Love is not a feeling, it's an action word. Greater love. Yeah, I don't know about this, but I get the gist of it. Greater love than this has no man than to lay down his life for his friends. I get the gist of that, right? But this is not a physical. I'ma die for you, because what Yahuwah say, nope, you keep your life. If they want to keep screwing up, let them screw it up all the way into Sheol, right? But don't waste good seed for riffraff that ain't gonna want to do right. Because when you give your life, they still ain't gonna do right. Think about it. Even if they believe this, they still ain't doing right, right? You do right when you choose to do right. Those who love me keep my commands. You choose to do it. You're not beating across the head to do it. You choose to do it, right? You don't need anybody else to come give their life for that. That's a decision you make, right? Of the making of many scrolls, there is no end, and much study wearies the body. Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear Yahuwah and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all men. For Yahuwah will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. Ecclesiastes 12, verses 12 through 14. And this is where we're going to pause today. Tomorrow we'll pick it back up with Gematria, codes, and a Kabbalah. All right, y'all. That's page 189. So we read a good deal today, and we're at 102. All right, y'all. 189. All right, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed the reading today. We read Isaiah 19, 20, and 21. And we read Fossilized Customs, pages 181 through 189. It is Sunday, June the 27th, 2021, day 191 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets under the 3-year consecutive day count. Day 860. And that is without the Sabbath days or the feast day Sabbath days added into the count. Why? Because we rest. All right, y'all. Something. I'll wait. Okay, y'all. I remember to put the link for the Melchizedek video that I did. That's an order before before Jacob, right? Okay. So let's go ahead and do the blessing. And my screen's still doing this, so I gotta do this. Bring this up. All right, y'all. The blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. Remember, the first 21 verses is a Nazirite vow, man or woman can take it. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise, ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. And they shall put my name, whose name? Yahuwah's name. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people. I don't see any questions here. Let's double check. I gotta keep switching between these screens. Okay. All right. No questions. All right, y'all. I see y'all tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.